I feel like I have a different answer every time I get asked this question, man. But thinking about it, for me, it just felt like the most natural progression of things. You know, in terms of just what we do with music, just how big it is in our lives. You know, we wake up to it, we drive to it. You know, we put on our flyest clothes on a Friday night to go and dance to it with our friends. You know, it's like, and so for me as a fan, I can't help but think like, you know, how do I make music? At what point does my appreciation for it, when do I take that and really turn it into something like tangible, you know, for me, you know? And for me, it was just something about music production that just, it was calling to me, because I felt like that was just the next step for me.
It's always a slippery slope with either one, man, because they both bring you a lot of things. You know, fame gives you a lot of that instant gratification. Is like, oh, you the man now. You know, people recognize you in the mall, they recognize you in all these places, and gives you that instant confidence boost. But also feel like it gives you a very fragile ego. You know, because when it turns on you and people are saying bad things about you, you know, it can ruin you. You know, it can turn you into something else. And unfortunately, of course, everybody likes money, but at the same time, it's like you hear about all these stories, you know, about, you know, the MC Hammer, for instance. I don't want that to happen to me. It brings a lot of fake people into your life, you know. So I'll have to go with neither one. I have to throw a new one in there with foundation, you know, because that would just set you up for so many other things to be really successful, you know, to build something that lasts, and also being able to obtain, you know, fortune because people believe in it, people believe in you, and that you're being real. And then fame, obviously, you know, your reputation will precede you if you go on and approach your work, you know, with integrity, carry yourself with authenticity, you know, things in that nature. So, you know, I know that wasn't a choice, but I have to go with foundation on this one. Man, I grew up on the West Coast cat, man, so it's like, you know, the Interscopes, the Death Row records, the Ruthless records, the Aftermath records, all of that stuff, man. That used to be the thing when I was younger, man. But honestly, now that I've had time to mature and really like look at the game for what it is, you know, and I've come to find out that I don't really have a desire to sign to a label like that. You know what I mean? I want to be in my city. I want to do things my way, you know, make a label that, like, you know, what Jay did with Rockefeller and what is now Rock Nation, you know, like he built up an empire. So what label I want to sign to, man, I want to sign to myself, you know. I want from scratch, from home, create it from the heart, and then have it grow to be something that I never expected, something that just takes a life of its own. Well, because I feel like when you make music that sounds like LA, you know, you're telling a story about yourself. You know, I feel like it's kind of like a badge that you're putting on when you make music that sounds like, you know, you're from that part, you know. And I'm not from LA, you know. I can't rap that. I can't, you know, sit here and say that I live the same kind of lives that those dudes do out there in LA, you know. So that's why I pretty much stay away from it, you know, because I don't want my sound to, I guess, reflect that kind of culture, or like to make it seem like that I live that kind of culture, because I don't. You know, we live out here in Rancho Cucamonga, as you were saying, you know, it wasn't too far from LA. But we have a culture out here that's just as powerful, just as potent, you know, one where it's like, you know, we're real strong on like spreading love, about having that hunger, that drive, you know, to want to succeed, to carve out our own little piece of the American dream out here in the IE. And I feel like, you know, that in of itself is something to make music about. You know, that has its own sound in it, you know, and I want to be able to capture that, you know, and I want my music to embody all of the, you know, the entire essence that is the Inland Empire, you know. And so for that reason, I don't move to LA, you know, even though we're so close. I'm always gonna have love for it. There's always gonna be like kinship with all my, you know, all the LA artists, you know, that I listen to on a day-to-day. But at the end of the day, it's like, you know, they got their sound, they live their culture, you know, and I gotta do the same with mine. I gotta be that for my city, you know.